Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Corboy. We're back at it again today, talking well, something that I actually recorded a whole video on yesterday, and then went back and watched it, and I just really wasn't a fan of how that video turned out. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not uploading this. Um, and I just didn't have time to record another one. We ended up streaming for quite a while last night, and today I'm recording because I'm not doing anything. But I do have something I want to talk about. So if y'all have been by the streams recently, you know that I've been playing through Silent Hill 2, the remake that just came out about a week ago. Um, I want to start off by saying this remake is phenomenal. It's amazing. Like, the fact that they were able to capture a lot of the things that made me fall in love with the series in a remake of all things, a remake that I feel like was actually really doubted upon before people even got to play it, um, is just outstanding and beautiful. Like, I have loved this remake so fucking much. It has been so good. It gave me everything I loved about the original Silent Hill 2 with some added elements. Better combat system, of course, better graphics. It looks fucking beautiful. If you as you're walking around Silent Hill, and even like right before you enter the actual town of Silent Hill and you're in the beginning spot, like the rest stop and everything, it is just bafflingly gorgeous. The enemies look terrifying. They still have like their original designs, of course, with different textures and everything like that. It overall looks amazing. Like, it's terrifying. It's weird. It's literally everything you love about Silent Hill put into a new package and said, "Here, this is what a remake is," with some extra elements, of course. Some of the stuff is different. One thing that really caught me with it was the Pyramid Head scene is a little bit different when you first see Pyramid Head. When you first like encounter him as like a fight, you're not supposed to fight him. To the new players, just keep running. That's all you got to do. But there's an issue. I know this isn't a console issue. This is a PC issue, and of course, I'm gonna talk about. I'm a PC player. I like taking these new games and being able to play them at like the best settings that I absolutely can. I like to be able to ray trace them, run them like ultra high. Mostly because like single player experiences, I like to get more immersed with it compared to like if I'm doing my normal content, which is Halo. Just I don't know. It's a unique experience, and that's the main reason I got it on PC was because I was like, well, this is one of my favorite games of all time, one of my top 3 games of all time, and I want to experience it in the best way that I possibly can. But there's an issue and something that I'm actually very worried about because I'm about 6.5 hours into the game, maybe a little bit further at this point. Um, the game is becoming progressively harder to play. Um, if you stopped by the streams and you were there the first day, I was kind of complaining about something that I kind of noticed was happening a little bit here and there, and that is stuttering issues. So, for those who don't know a lot about PC gaming and things that a lot of games that are ports like to do, like for example Halo, especially Halo Infinite does this, and as well as kind of does MCC, is these games whenever you boot them up, it will take a couple of minutes sometimes just to pre-render everything, so that whenever you're playing, the game's not trying to process all the textures that you're seeing at the same time, so you're not losing frames because of it. So it just kind of does it ahead of time so that whenever you're playing, you're not experiencing like tears or stuttering or frame drops or anything like that. It's really good for the game. It is a thing that I love when games do, and it always concerns me when I boot up a game and it's very, very fast, unless it's like specifically made for PC, then it doesn't really bother me. But when it's like, okay, this game is like on console and PC, if it does that, I'm typically like, okay, I know I'm gonna be safe playing this. I know I'm gonna be fine. Like, I'm not gonna have any issues usually. Depending on how crazy the graphics are, then sometimes I can crank them up or not. I don't on Halo personally because I like having the most frames that I can get because I play. I'm a little sweat sometimes, and I just like to be able to play my best. But the thing with Silent Hill 2, whenever I booted it up, was I was like, oh god, it didn't take a second to load. It just like instantly threw me in, and I was like, okay, there was maybe I just like it was in the download. It like downloaded all the textures and everything, and like it rendered everything out. Maybe I won't have an issue. We'll see. Um, but yeah, no, it's become an issue, a very, very big one as I've continued playing through it. And the last stream I did back on, I think it was Sunday, I was going to actually just sit down one take and just play through the entire game. That unfortunately didn't end up happening because I hit a point where literally I could not walk without stuttering. Like, I could walk maybe 2 to 3 feet and the game would just start bugging the fuck out. And that actually made a lot of combat experiences really, really difficult in the game. I'm not even playing at like the highest difficulty of combat either. It just made it a really big pain in my ass whenever I was trying to, go through and do puzzles or fight enemies. And actually, at one point, it ended up ruining an entire cutscene, which, if I am able to finish the game, you will see in that video when it ruined the cutscene. Because literally, my reaction is, "What the fuck is happening? Why? Like, now you decide to in the middle of a cutscene? Like, it's an entire cutscene that was done at 5 FPS. I think it was so bad that like I could hear the voice lines, but it was not what was happening on screen. Like everything was like super slow and choppy, and it's a bit of an issue. I know there's been some people talking about it on like Reddit and stuff because I actually was trying to find a fix for it. I was like, okay, is this something that's like wrong with me? I tried putting the settings on low, no DLSS, no ray tracing, capping the frames at 60 frames, and it continuously kept happening no matter what I was running it at the exact same time. So I was like, okay, this isn't like an issue with my system. Like this is an issue with the game. I tried going through and like verifying files like people were saying to do. That didn't work at all. I've tried a bunch of different shit, and I simply cannot find a fix for it, and it's actually to a degree kind of ruined to the game. While I do love this remake a lot, it's genuinely one of the best that I've played in a very long time, other than like RE4's remake. I'm not typically a big fan of remakes. They can be hit or miss. I mean, y'all know me, I'm a Halo content creator. We don't talk about Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. That didn't fucking happen. Halo 2 Anniversary, that's goated. That's really good. That shit's awesome. It's great. Still feels like Halo 2. Fuck Jackal Snipers. If y'all don't know, we're doing a playthrough on that as well, and I was actually going to get back to that as soon as I finish Silent Hill 2. But it's just kind of become a really, really big issue for me playing. And I genuinely don't know what to do at this point. I've tried looking up things, and it seems very hit or miss. Some people it worked with, some people it doesn't. It didn't work for me. But yeah, I really do want to see this issue fixed because I will hands down say that if you've never got to experience the original Silent Hill 2 on original hardware, which I don't think most people are going to be able to do anymore, unfortunately, with things like how much the game fucking costs. I've never found a copy of Silent Hill 2 under $150. It's usually higher than that, too. And it sucks as a Silent Hill fan, as someone who actually like really wanted to start getting all the physical copies of the games. It's made it like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that because that's kind of I'm not spending that much for a game that came out on PS2 and Silent Hill 1 came out on PS1. So I can't justify it. Luckily, emulation's a thing. If you all want to play Silent Hill 2, there are emulators. Just go find one. Go try it out. It's a phenomenal game. I would still say to this day that Silent Hill 2 still holds up, the original, not the remake. It still holds up very, very well. Something about the way they went about that game with like the art style, the atmosphere, and that's one thing I've always loved about Silent Hill is it's not a jump scare horror game. It's very much just make you very uncomfortable in every situation, and it does a lot for the game. It makes it genuinely 10 times scarier, and I personally love that. I love like a lot of the like psychological parts of the game of like what each enemy represents, which I felt like was kind of lost in the later games. It seems like with this new one that's coming out, I think the one that got announced, like Silent Hill F, it seems like it could be pretty interesting. I'm very excited to see it. Hopefully they bring back a lot of that style of where the enemies aren't just enemies, they're like directly connected to the characters. I really do hope we see that. That's one of my favorite things about the first 4 games is that all of these things that you see are directly tied to what the character has experienced in their life and what it represents to them. It's like actually channeling their own fears, and I personally love that. I haven't seen a game do that since, really. Despite how many other horror games I love, like if y'all don't know, last year I did a playthrough of Dead Space over on my Twitch channel, which we are going to be redoing at some point. I really do want to play through all the Dead Space games again because I'm a super fan of those series. So we will be doing that. I actually haven't got to sit down and play the Dead Space remake yet, and I'm very excited to play it because I do love that game a fuckload. Dead Space 1 and 2 are 2 of my favorite horror games of all time, if not just 2 of my, like, in probably, like, my top, like, 10 to 15 games of all time. I played those so much as a kid, and I still do love them. And then playing through them last year was a hell of an experience. I was so happy that I got to go back through and relive those games. Same with like BioShock and everything, which I do eventually want to redo and have them up here on the channel because I like having those playthroughs out just so people can go and watch them. Because as much of a Halo nerd as I am, I love so many games. I mean, if you can't tell from behind me, I'm a huge Fallout fan as well. I know I did the Fallout 3 playthrough not too long ago. I was going to do the DLCs. The only thing that kind of sucks is that like I can't get achievements on PC for 3 in New Vegas. I know I can for 4. It just kind of sucks. That's one of my favorite things to do with Fallout. It was like one of my yearly things I would do is I'd go through and 100% all of them. And it's something that I just can't do on PC now, unfortunately, but that's whatever. But overall, about the Silent Hill 2 remake, I genuinely love this remake so much. I love a lot of like the weird little nuance things they added into it. A lot of the like little hidden things that are like, if you played the original, you know what we're talking about right here. Especially with Maria, whenever she finds her like outfit in the hotel, that's a really cool little Easter egg. I was like, oh, that's kind of sick. That's cool to have in there. And then she like picks it up and is like, how would I look in this? And it's just like one of those little playback things. Like if you played the original, you know what she's talking about. A lot of really cool stuff. I love the atmosphere. I love the gameplay. It feels very good. The combat feels amazing. I really do like it. It was a little weird at first, but as you get your hands on it, you're like, oh, this actually feels really cool. I like this. Um, of course, I know some people are feeling weird about like the whole dodge mechanic thing. I get why it's there. It's an over the shoulder third person like action shooter, survival horror game. Not like kind of how Silent Hill 2 was, which was a little more spacey and everything. But I still love it. It feels very very good. Um, but yeah, I'm going to try to finish the game. It's just very difficult whenever I'm having these weird frame drop issues and it's kind of stuttering a lot. It definitely breaks the immersion a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. It really upsets me because I love this game. But I just want to hop on here and talk about it. If you all have any fixes in mind for the game, please tell me down below. I would absolutely love to be able to finish this game out and have it run smooth as hell and have it be beautiful. So if you know any fixes, please let me know down below. If there's any news, I haven't seen anything personally myself, but if you do see any news, let me know as well so I can keep up with it. And if there is like a patch coming out at some point or some fix, I'll probably just wait and finish it then. Even though I might be a little bit late to finishing it because I don't play on console, I would still like to be able to finish the game and get it out here for you all. It's going to actually be like a really long video. It's not going to be like, kind of like how my Halo playthroughs I typically do in like sections of each mission, which that's going to change with Halo 3. It's going to be kind of more of a long playthrough, mostly because I'm also going to be doing videos when I do lasso and everything and trying to learn the speedrunning routes and everything because I just think it'll be kind of fun to do. But other than that, though, I'm going to hop out of here. I love you all. It's been Corey Boy. We'll be back to Halo tomorrow. Later.